In this world that's always buzzing, there's this quiet undercurrent that so many of us are feeling. It's like a low-grade hum of alertness, the sense of being perpetually on edge. It's not some loud, obvious panic, but more of a persistent, really draining state of readiness. Today, we're going to dive into the neuroscience behind that feeling, and more importantly, discover a simple but powerful way to start rewiring our brains for a sense of calm and real, genuine resilience.
So here's the path we're going to take. First, we'll get a handle on just how widespread this stress really is. Then, we're going to peek inside the brain to see what's happening on a neurological level. From there, we'll completely reframe where anxiety actually comes from, introduce a powerful mantra to get back that sense of safety, learn how to apply it to the world around us, and finally, really grasp what it means to be resilient.
All right, so let's start by just acknowledging a shared experience. That feeling of being quietly on edge, that's not just you. It's kind of become a defining feature of our modern condition.
Just think about it for a second. Does it ever feel like you're a car at a stoplight, with your foot just hovering over the gas, the engine just revving and revving, ready to bolt, even when there's really nowhere to go? Well, that state of heightened readiness is absolutely exhausting. And for so many of us, it's somehow become the new normal.
A huge reason for this is that after these long periods of global uncertainty, like the pandemic, our nervous systems got flipped into this high alert mode. And here's the crucial part. They don't just automatically switch back off. That reset button, it's something we have to press intentionally. And the scale of this is, well, it's pretty staggering. According to research from Harvard's Dr. Aditi Nerurkar, a whopping 83% of adults are living in a state of chronic stress. And a lot of them don't even know it. So if you feel that revving engine, you're definitely not imagining it. It's a physiological reality for the vast majority of us.
So what is actually happening inside your head? Why does your brain get stuck in this high alert state? Well, the answer is deep in our basic primitive wiring.
When your body is in this constant state of revving, just flooded with stress hormones like cortisol, it kicks off a very specific and frankly ancient chain reaction in the brain. Right at the very center of all of this is your brain's alarm system. It's the part that was designed for one thing and one thing only, to detect threats and keep you alive.
We are talking about the amygdala. The best way to think about it is like the smoke detector of your brain. It's super fast, it's emotional, and its only job is to scream danger.
And in a state of chronic stress, that smoke detector is just constantly going off. The amygdala basically hijacks your entire thought process.
Now, the other key player here is your prefrontal cortex. This is the CEO of your brain, right? It's responsible for logic, for planning, for rational thought.
And when the amygdala starts screaming, the prefrontal cortex gets completely pushed aside. It just goes offline. And that is exactly why, when we're stressed out, we feel so irrational and reactive, and why it's so hard to think clearly. The alarm is blaring, and the CEO has literally been locked out of the building.
So, with our rational brain offline, we're left feeling totally out of control, and our minds hate that feeling. So to cope, we start doing something called compensatory control. We start seeing patterns where there aren't any, creating these elaborate stories, attaching meaning to random events, all in a desperate attempt to feel like we have some kind of grip on a world that just feels chaotic. And this brings us to a really fundamental shift in understanding. We've seen how the brain reacts, but now let's explore what anxiety truly is at its core. And it might not be what you think. Dr. Russell Kennedy offers this really profound insight. Now, when we hear separation anxiety, our minds usually jump to a child separated from a parent, but that's not what he's talking about here. The separation is internal. Anxiety is the feeling that pops up in the exact moment you disconnect from your own belief, your own trust that you can handle whatever is coming. It's a separation from your own capability.
Let's break that down. Okay, so first, some challenge or uncertainty shows up on the horizon. Second, your mind immediately leaps into the future, spinning out 1,000 different what-if scenarios. And third, right in that moment of future tripping, you separate from the one thing you actually have, your own capacity to respond in the here and now. That gap, that disconnect, that is the feeling of anxiety.
And understanding this is everything. Because if anxiety is a disconnection from yourself, then the solution has to be a tool for reconnection.
So the big question is, how do you calm down an amygdala that's screaming danger? You can't really reason with it, but you can give it a new command. You can consciously signal safety and literally change the settings in your own mind. And here's that command.
I will be okay no matter what happens. This isn't just wishful thinking. It is a direct intervention. It's a tool that short-circuits that whole what-if loop by focusing on the one thing that's constant, your ability to endure. It recognizes, yeah, difficult things are going to happen, but it reestablishes that connection to your own resilience. And that, in effect, quiets the brain's alarm.
Okay, so now we have a tool for our internal world. But how do we apply this to the chaotic external world? With other people and events we can't control? This is where our framework called the let them theory is so helpful.
This slide shows the core distinction perfectly. We waste so much mental and emotional energy trying to control everything in that let them column. Other people's opinions, their behavior, their choices. The let them theory is just a practice of recognizing what is theirs to own. And when you do that, you free up all of that energy to focus on the let me column, the only things you actually truly control: your thoughts, your actions, your boundaries, and ultimately your response.
And this is what brings all these ideas together into one single powerful principle. It's about shifting from just reacting to life's events to becoming an intentional responder.
This really gets to the heart of it. Resilience isn't about building your walls so high that nothing bad can ever happen. That's an impossible, exhausting game to play. True, sustainable resilience is about mastering your ability to respond. It's about finding that little bit of space between what happens to you and how you react, and in that space, choosing your path forward with intention.
So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The waves of uncertainty, they're going to keep coming. That's pretty much a guarantee. But now you know the neurology, you understand the source, and you have the tools. So when that next wave arrives, where are you going to choose to place your focus? On the storm you can't control, or on the steady, capable self who can navigate it? The choice, and all the power that comes with it, is yours.